How's it going, everybody? Tyler with LMR.com, and today we're back with episode 6 of Project Keeping Calm.
In this episode, we're talking about all things exterior. So headlights, fog lights, tail lights, new tailpipes, third brake light, anything involving the exterior of the car, it's in this episode. So let's get right into it.
If you haven't checked out the first 5 episodes, I would click the links in the description below, get caught up, and see
all the things we've accomplished on our journey thus far.
So just to recap episode 5, we tackled the interior, we got the carpet changed out, replaced a few of the OEM interior panels, changed out the old busted interior to the Mach 1 seat upholstery from TMI, and got everything pretty much restored. So in episode 6, we're gonna tackle
the exterior, and we'll go ahead and start at the front bumper.
I was really kind of nervous about the Cobra hood and the GT front bumper combination. It actually turned out really well. That specific hood from Cervini's only fits the GT bumper. We could have went with the 0304 Cobra bumper, tried to make it work, but I really think the GT bumper really pulled it together.
The headlight bulb connectors and park light bulb connectors, the little tabs on the connector, they were broke off. Y'all know, if you have a new Edge or any car for that matter, you know how easily those tabs can break. Will Joe did an outstanding job on getting that fixed for us.
Got that all looking pretty much factory. It looks just brand new. I know that took some time. It takes a lot of attention to detail, so huge thanks to them for making it look brand new.
And then as far as headlights are concerned, we had to go back with 01 to 04 style headlights, which is of course the clear lens and the black housing. They look really, really good. And as far as the fog lights is concerned, we thought about doing ultra clears, but after off camera, after we kind of put the ultra clears in there and switched those out for the factory style fog lights in the 99 to 04 GT, there's something about that non-ultra clear or that fluted or how it diffused fog light, whatever you want to call it. It just looks right. You know, it looks like a stock 2004 GT. Continuing with the front, to kind of add some things from different trim levels of cars from that era. We had to do a Mach 1 chin spoiler and a Mach 1 style grille door.
Those are both really popular upgrades for the 99 to 04 cars. Just about everyone has them. If you don't have one, you need to get one. We went back and forth on whether it needed a chin spoiler or not. Funny enough, it looked pretty good without it. Obviously, these cars didn't come with it from the factory, and it had that factory OEM look. I'm a real big fan of that Mach 1 chin spoiler, and I just had to have it on there.
I guess I should probably mention this way before I started talking about any of this stuff. Whenever we got the car back from paint, we had a local glass shop come out, and they put a brand new car light windshield in the car, as well as a new rear glass in the car. So glass alone can make a car look really fresh. Fresh glass in the front, fresh glass in the rear. We stripped the tint on the 2 quarter windows and the front door glass, and you can say what you want, but man, these cars with a glass house is what we like to call it around here. They look pretty darn good without tint on them. So all the fresh glass made the car look really good.
So one of the biggest surprises that I really got excited about on the car was the new weather strip. I know weather strip doesn't really sound exciting. It's not a huge part that a lot of people think about, but once you close a door and ride in a car with new weather strip, you really can tell how big of a difference it makes. And with 180,000 miles on this car, that weather strip that was on there from the factory was busted. I mean, there was a bunch of wind noise. You could hear everything on the road. Everything kind of creaked. And riding in it now, it's just almost silent. I mean, you still have your noises. It's 2004. It's not a brand new car, but it definitely sounds like it was brand new in 2004.
Now working down the side of the car with the rocker moldings, the body shop, they just put push pins in it to hold them on while we got the car back here to our warehouse. We made sure all the correct push pins were in place, as well as installed the rocker molding retaining trim, which is the thin black trim with the Mustang text on it. That was really it for that particular area. We've obviously put factory style side mirrors on it, outer door belt weather strip, quarter belt weather strip, A-pillar and C-pillars were all installed while we were at this area. Continue to the rear, not much went on back there. Obviously we put new trunk struts, new trunk springs, a factory Ford OEM third brake light, 99 to 04 factory style tail lights with new bulbs.
As soon as the new tail lights went in, it really completed the look.
As well as new license plate light lenses with an LED bulb kit. We opted for LED instead of the run-of-the-mill halogen bulb, simply because we think the LED looks a little more fresh in the back. You know, when it's dark outside, the lights are on, so that's why we went with the LED bulbs. We also went with new tailpipes.
It did have the Boyle exhaust tips on it. The black plastic tip that was on the back of the car actually got all over the exhaust tips, and I believe it kind of melted or got attached to those tips where it's too hard to clean off. So the exhaust tips needed a lot of work.
Myself and a guy we call Birdman around here at the shop, Brett Thomas is his government name. Birdman and I, we cut the old tips off the car, welded on some MagnaFlow tips, which look way better. Could we have saved the tips that were on it? Sure, but we would have had way more time refurbishing and restoring the tips that were on the car than just simply replacing them. Now you're probably thinking, well, why didn't y'all put a cat back on it or a mid-pipe or just put an exhaust on the car?
When I bought the car originally years ago, it came with a boiler, exhaust, full cat back.
So we left that alone and we just put tips on the car.
It has never looked any better.
So rounding out the exterior, obviously a new cowl panel, windshield wipers, windshield wiper arms, and then as far as emblems are concerned, the trunk got a new GT emblem and a new Ford oval.
The trunk emblems, those were reproductions from our site. Looks brand new, obviously.
And then the two fender emblems, this being a 2004 GT and a 40th anniversary.
The 40th emblems on the side, the 40th anniversary emblems are original. Those aren't available in the aftermarket yet.
So luckily enough for us, our 40th anniversary badges that we removed prior to the car going to paint, they were still usable. So we removed all the old double-sided tape, cleaned them up really, really good, kind of polished them up to give them some luster, and then we hand-laid fresh double-sided tape, and then Tyler put the icing on the cake for us with those emblems.
Since I wasn't just a huge help in this whole project, obviously Landon, Hubbard, Jay, the whole crew was working on it. Getting to add those little finishing touches, since it was my old car, really made me feel a little special about it. Putting on the emblems was like putting on the finishing touches of the car. I mean, the whole car was pretty much completed, but it still looked kind of naked without some emblems, and putting those on, looking brand new, it really completed the whole look.
While all this was going on, and really prior to the emblems, we did do some isolated paint correction. There are still some sanding marks present. Were we chasing perfection? No. You can always come back and do some paint correction, compound it, polish it, you know, put a last step protection on it, ceramic coating, whatever you want to do. That's all going to come probably in the future. But for us, you know, we were so happy to be so close on finishing the car. You know, we just kind of took a step back and really let it sink in. Because we've seen the car now painted and coming back together so slowly, you forgot what it looked like.
When we first picked up the car, I mean, it was a mess. You've seen this in previous episodes.
But after digging around in my mind and looking at pictures and all the extra B-roll and footage that we had of the car before we did anything with it.
The interior was wrecked, the exterior was wrecked. There were some body panels that had just random holes drilled in it ever since I first bought the car years and years ago that I always wanted to replace, just never got around to it.
As the exterior was coming together, really the key moments for when the car really started to come to life was obviously headlights, taillights.
When I had it, it still needed some new headlights, new taillights, and seeing all of these new parts go in, it was just like a dream come true. It really got the attention that it needed.
It's jaw-dropping. I mean, it was like, man, like we did it. We felt so accomplished. All right, people, that's it. That concludes the exterior for Keeping Comp, and it's starting to look like a car again.
Getting pretty exciting. We still have a lot of work to do, so make sure you stay tuned for episode 7.
If you value the series so far, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more New Edge content, and make sure those notifications are turned on. That way you don't miss any future uploads.
And keep it right here with the Real Enthusiast.
LMR.com.